Good afternoon, evening, and/or night. My name is Joseph Tagliavori. This is Broken News, the only show that, like a fine cheese, gets slightly better with every episode. I'm pretty sure that's how that saying goes. Let's get into the news. Donald Trump has unleashed the Moab missile on a remote region of Kandahar, Afghanistan. This missile was aimed at ISIS fighters that were using tunnels and caves as a base of operations. Donald Trump was quoted as saying, "We're so proud of our military and it was another successful event. As far as we're aware, there are no civilian casualties, and we still don't know the exact amount of damage the Moab missile did. The Moab missile stands for Massive Ordnance Air Blast, and it is a missile that's dropped from a cargo plane and explodes in the air, creating a large disruption. This causes collapse of buildings and other tunnels, and this is why Donald Trump probably called it a success." In entertainment news, we have two new trailer drops this week. The first is for the trailer of Thor Ragnarok, which comes out in November, and the other one is for the beloved series Star Wars: The Last Jedi, which comes out in December. Both trailers released this week, and you can find the link in the description down below. Now for the top story of the episode. The famous Flight 3411, and the famous Dr. Dow. United Airlines is in hot water after an incident with one of their passengers. I have watched these videos multiple times and put together a timeline of sorts so that we can have all the facts here presented for you tonight. The plane was full, and Dr. Dow was asked to leave along with 3 other passengers to make room for 4 United crew members headed to Louisville. The pilot offered rewards for people to get off early. However, no one took him up on it. The computer chose 4 passengers at random to disembark the plane. Needless to say, Dr. Dow was one of those people. Dr. Dow was a 69-year-old lung specialist, and he was asked to leave the plane by agents of the airport. They said, quote, "That is why I want to have you up front." The agent went on to explain that this has nothing to do with you, and Dr. Dow said that he paid for the flight and that he was going to stay on the plane no matter what. Dr. Dow said, quote, "I don't want to talk to you no more." The agent then proceeds to tell him that if he doesn't move, things will get worse. At some point, Dow called United and explained to him his plight. He explained to them that he was a physician and that he wanted to get home. He had patients to see in the morning. The officers said that they sympathized with him, but he needed to get off the plane.
Well, you can track me down, I won't go. I'm not going, I stay right there.
An unknown amount of time later, the agent reaches down and attempts to pick up Dow. This is where the video that most of us have seen picks up.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
We see the agents then grab him by the arms and start dragging him away, and he looks unconscious. He's got a small cut on his lip or inside of his mouth. We can't really tell by the footage, but we see blood start to trickle down his face. We see in another shot by a second passenger that he's still clutching his phone in his hand, so thankfully he wasn't knocked unconscious. However, the agents get him off the plane, and a short amount of time later, Dow comes running back onto the plane.
I have to go home. I have to go home. I have to go home. I have to go home.
He then grabs onto the curtain and starts saying,
Kill me. Just kill me. I have to go home. Kill me. Just kill me. Just kill me.
After this happened, Dow was removed from the plane and ended up going to a hospital in the area. He's there, and his attorney says that he's doing fine. However, there might be some surgery required. However, this brings us into our discussion section of the night. The question is, who was right and who was wrong? The agents or Dow? Or was it a mixture of both? This is the point in the show where I give my opinion on this sad, sad event. First of all, I'll say that no one ever deserves to be treated like this. No matter who you are, no matter what your status, you never deserve to be treated like this. And that also goes for the agents. People are booing and telling them that they're awful and security was being horrible. And I will admit, that sucks when they were put in that position. And I understand that Dow wasn't moving and the agents tried to move him. That's what happens when an unstoppable force moves an immovable object. And sadly, Dow paid the price. I used to work in a very customer-focused business. And the thing is, the customer is always right. I understand that it's your plane. I understand that there are policies and procedures. However, we also have to be very careful the way we treat human beings. I do believe that these agents were in the right by doing this. The way they went about it, though, was completely wrong. Dr. Dow, I don't believe really meant any harm. However, he did say a few different things. In one of the videos, he said, "I will file a lawsuit against United." In another one, he's seen telling an agent, "I don't want to talk to you anymore." He isn't acting belligerent, but he is being rather rude to these agents. The agents can be heard saying things like, "We will use force," but at the same time, they can also be heard saying things like, "We just want to have a chat. Come to the front of the plane so we can talk this out." The issue is, I think there's a breakdown of communication here. Neither Dow nor the agents really knew how to communicate with one another. Dow has a very thick accent, and these guys had a lot of trouble, it seemed, understanding him. But at the same time, Dow clearly understood what they were saying, and I don't blame him for not wanting to move. It sucks having to move off a flight like that. The thing is, I don't think this should happen to anybody. Doesn't matter what this man's past was, and it doesn't matter what the agent's past was either. What matters is, as human beings, we must treat each other with love and respect. What happened to Dr. Dow should never happen to anybody. However, vilifying or herifying Dow, or vilifying or herifying the agents, doesn't help anybody. We're all human beings and we screw up. All in all, that's my opinion. Let me know down in the comments, what do you think of the situation? Was what happened to Dow necessary? Should have they used less force? Was Dow in the right or in the wrong? Tell me all of your opinions down below. I would love to see what you guys say. Remember to keep it civil, and be cool, and keep up the awesome. We will see you guys in the next video. Good night.